everyone. We just got done at the shops. It's day 18 already. Oh my god, we're almost through, and I'm actually going to be kind of sad that we're going to be done. There is no Thanksgiving here in Australia, of course. So while you guys are all eating your keto-fied or non-keto-fied Thanksgiving meals, I'll just be having a normal day. But still, I am excited for everybody to be able to spend time with family and have Thanksgiving. I do miss that part of it. I miss my family. But we are headed back home, and I will show you what I'm making today for food. Okay, so this is what I decided on today. We are doing a meat crust pizza. So we're using kangaroo mince. This is a kilo almost. And then to make the crust, it's the mince, like whichever you choose, like if you want chicken mince or whatever. This is the kangaroo mince. And then I've got 1/4 of a cup of the mozzarella cheese. And then I'm doing 1/4 of a cup of the Parmesan cheese, and then I just have a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic salt. So that makes the crust. And then for the toppings, we are doing the salami and a yellow capsicum. We call it bell pepper in America. And then I've got the Italian herbs to sprinkle on there. We have a Colby cheese, and then mushrooms. Okay, so I have the mince here in my big red bowl. I use this bowl for everything. I'm going to add the 1/4 cup of the mozzarella cheese. Then I'm going to do 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. This one is just extra sharp, finely grated. And then the 1/2 teaspoon of the garlic salt. And then you just mix this all together until it's all squishy and incorporated. Also added some pink Himalayan salt and pepper. Okay, because this is 1 kilo, I divided it into half. So I have 2 batches because I'm doing 1 separate pizza for David, 1 separate pizza for me. So then you just put it in a baked baking paper lined pan. That's going to be loud. And then I always take just another sheet and then squish it down. You've seen that on other videos. I could just do it with my hands, but okay, so you can see it's all squished out. I did David's in a round, more typical pizza, whatever. And then I just sprinkle it with the Italian herbs, as much or as little as you want. I just put a big glob there. Yeah. Okay, so it just goes in the oven now. It takes about 20 minutes. And this is at 175 Celsius. Okay, so here is what I am putting on top of my pizza as far as veggies. I have 50 grams of yellow capsicum, 50 grams of mushroom, and 50 grams of the salami. Okay, so I'm just going to saute the veggies and salami in olive oil. And that's 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
As well?
Yeah, as well. And here are my cooked veggies, just waiting on my pizza crust to get done so I can put it together. Okay, so this is the meat crust after it's done, and then I just put my toppings on, and I put 50 grams of the mozzarella cheese. So this is going to go back in the oven probably about just 5 minutes, just until the cheese melts. So this is the finished pizza. Don't cut my finger. You can put like, you know, your tomato sauce or ranch dressing if you want like a chicken bacon ranch or anything on this, but I just like the veggies and the cheese. And my cheese is coming off my pizza. But yeah, I don't really like the tomato sauce, or sometimes I'll put ranch dressing on it. But I just like the meat and cheese and veggie. And I am finally eating food. I'm skipping coffee today. Just not going to drink it because we are off today. And oh, this pizza looks so good. Ready to devour it. Okay, so I thought I would talk to you today about when my weight started getting very high, or I started gaining weight at all. Growing up, I was always a very thin, skinny child. I was never overweight. I will put a picture up right now when I was 12. And then I will put a picture up of when I was 14. So as you can see from those pictures, I was never heavy. When I was 15, I got married and I got pregnant 2 months later. During that pregnancy, I was sick a lot. I had high blood pressure, I had all kinds of issues, and they put me on bed rest. And I ended up gaining 60 pounds during that pregnancy, my only pregnancy. And after I had him, I just could not seem to get that weight off no matter what I did. I also have had like an eating disorder, binge eating disorder, since a very young age. It started when I was about 9. Won't go into detail of what happened, but something pretty bad happened to me when I was 9, and then right after that at 11, and then right after that at 12. So just back to back, those things caused me to start binge eating, but it was only sweets. I'm not exactly sure why, but that is what I would binge eat on. And my mom would find like candy bar wrappers, and I would take my lunch money, and instead of buying lunch, I would stop at the corner store on the way to school and just buy candy bars and candy and just anything that I could that was sweet. And then I would hide it. And I would eat it in the bathroom and try to hide it in the bin. So my mom would end up finding these wrappers in, the house. And she didn't understand it. She was just like, what is this? And then she would come out and she'd have all the wrappers in her hand, and, she didn't understand, why I was doing that. Well, then I found that, when I was 15 and I got married, that I could eat those sweets and I didn't have anybody going, why do you have this, or anything else, because then I was in control of my own eating and what I wanted. So I still had that issue with sweets. So I would eat candy bars, ice cream. I would eat that over food. And the weight just kept upping and upping and upping. So when I got pregnant with my son, I was 150 pounds. And by the end of that 60 pounds gained, I was 210. So right after I had him, I ended up down, I think, about 20 pounds. Just like right after I had him. And then the weight just continually gained and gained until at my highest, which I will put a picture here for you of me at my highest. And this was at 260 pounds. And I never took full body pictures or pictures at all. It's really rare to see any pictures of me at that weight. I mean, I just would hide from the camera, or I'd hide behind people. You know that trick. And I mean, I was miserable. I was unhappy. I was sick. I had like really, really like dark black circles under my eyes. My blood sugar was so off that even like my neck, like around my neck, was a darker color. Under my arms was a darker color, you know, like it was just really dark. And then I went to the doctor, and of course, you know, they told me that I was borderline type 2 diabetic. And it just did not stop me. I was not in a very happy relationship either. Just the marriage, oh, it's hard to explain. And it just continued. And I think it was about 2010, 7 years from, 2010, I decided to do the HCG diet. So I actually had injections and did those, ate 500 calories a day, and I did that for 6 weeks, and then I took a 6-week break, and then I did it again for 6 weeks. And I lost 80 pounds in that period of time. So I had got to 180 pounds again, and everything, you know, I felt fine, and I kept that off for about 3 months of, you know, I didn't go back to carbs. I was eating the right things. I was on plan, and I just started going crazy again. I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat tubs of ice cream again. I'm going to eat a dozen donuts at once. I'm gonna just do what I want to do. And I gained all that weight back, and I gained it back so fast. Like, I did lose that weight pretty fast with the HCG, but I gained it. I think I gained everything back within like a month and a half. It was all back on. So I failed again. And I had just given up after that. And then I ended up leaving that marriage after 23 years married and 25 years together. I ended up meeting my husband I have now and moved to Australia. When I moved here, I ended up finding out, of course, about the endometrial cancer and having to have hysterectomy. And every time I would go to the GP, they were telling me, okay, you know, you have to do something about this because you're going to end up with diabetes. Well, my grandmother had diabetes, and she lost both of her legs due to the diabetes. And I was really afraid because I was like, okay, well, I'm happy now, like really happy, happiest I've ever been in my life. I don't want to be sick anymore. I don't want to have all of these problems. So after I had the hysterectomy, I started researching something that I could live the rest of my life doing, where I could be healthy and I could still eat and not starve myself. And that would help me with the binge eating problems. And keto is what I found. The ketogenic way of eating has really saved me. It helps a ton with the cravings of sugar that I had, and I had bad cravings. I'm not even gonna go into some of the things, but you would just be like, what? I mean, it's pretty much like a drug addict behavior that I had with sugar. So keto has really helped me so much in that, you know, getting rid of the cravings I mean, I don't get me wrong, I will still have that thought in my head, especially if something's going on and I'm stressed. I will have those issues where I'll think about it. But thinking about it isn't the same thing as running down to 7-Eleven and getting a dozen donuts and eating them all at once. So, I mean, this has really helped me tremendously to overcome that. I thought I would throw this in here, talking about more of my story and childhood and things that led up to me having the issues and gaining so much weight. It's part of my story, and I thought you might be interested in it. I'm going to end this video now so I can get it uploaded, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Hope everyone has a great day. Bye!